Capacitors break because there's oil inside here, and the oil will break down and turn into a vapor. And once the heat comes, then that vapor will expand and it'll blow the capacitor. So you'll see a lot of capacitors are bloated on the top. That's why, because the vapor expanded. Another reason capacitors break is because the dielectric inside, you can imagine aluminum foil is just wrapped around over and over, and that will break down and that will cause it to break. Sometimes the dielectric will cause vapor also. So heat is what breaks down capacitors. That's why you're replacing capacitors during the summertime. If the main reason they broke was because of current from the compressor, you'd be replacing a ton of them in the winter on heat pumps. Remember, those compressors are pulling a lot in the winter, but mainly you're replacing these in the first heat of the summer, right? That's when you're replacing 90% of your capacitors during the heat of the summer. It's the same reason why capacitors break or computers break when you leave them in the car. That's the capacitors on the boards that's making your computer break, okay? So capacitors break because of heat primarily. There's really not a lot you can do about it other than buying higher quality capacitors that have better oil and a better dielectric. The cheaper capacitors that you buy are going to have a lower quality oil. They can have a lower quality dielectric inside there, and they're going to break down more often. And time also breaks down a capacitor when that dielectric begins to break down. And so that's why sometimes you'll see them as a vapor, or actually what I mean is sometimes you'll see them bloated is when the vapor expands over the heat, and sometimes you will see them not bloated. That's when the dielectric fails. So, all right.